Hi, hello, welcome to Bhavya's Arts. Today we are going to learn about pencil drawing and shading. Okay, so I hope everyone are ready with your materials. We have already shared material list in our class group. I hope everyone are ready with your materials. Okay, so kindly mention your name from which place you are joining in the chat box. This session is going to be a very interactive session where you can use chat box to ask relevant questions about today's topic. Okay. So if you have any questions or any doubts about the topic, you can ask through chat box. Okay. So for example, if I am telling about one 8B pencil number, if you don't have that, whatever pencil you have, use it for drawing. Okay. And pencil drawing is used to build the structure before starting of coloring part. Okay. So pencil drawing and shading is very important for all types of levels from level basic to the professional level. Okay. So before starting and before knowing what we are going to do, the reference image today, Take rough paper, take rough paper and use any pencil. Just a quick warm up exercise for your hand. Just draw lines, horizontal lines, draw vertical lines, draw a circle. You can use any pens, any paper, rough paper or rough book. Don't use ruled book. Circles, draw any geometrical shapes. Why we are doing this exercise for hand? Because we need our hand to move freely while drawing. And also while shading, our hand should move freely. Okay. So that before starting drawing part, first we will draw like this. All geometrical shapes, whichever we remember. This lines, proportions, ratios. Okay. This. Okay. So like this, before drawing, we need to practice warm-up exercise. Now, this is 150 GSM paper. You can use 100 GSM to 160 GSM. Any paper you can use. Below to 100 GSM, you can use. But what happens? We will be doing layering method for shading purpose. Okay. So when we are moving to the second layer of shading, at the time normal paper will get tear. Okay. And you won't get the expected output. Because of that reason, we will for pencil shading, we will be using from 100 GSM paper to 160 GSM paper. Any paper you can use. Now I am using this is 150 GSM paper. Okay. So you need to touch the paper like this on the both the sides In which side you feel little rough, that side is meant for shading, drawing and shading purpose. Understood? And also stick the paper on all four sides with tape, sellotape. So no need to stick completely like this. Just at the edges of the paper, you need to stick with sellotape. Okay. So everyone do this. Take paper. If you are using books, drawing books, so at the corner part of your drawing book, that you need to stick completely. You need to stick. If you are using normal sellotape, okay, make sure you are sticking it properly with the normal sellotape. Okay, while removing, you might feel little difficult. Okay, so be careful while sticking. So do it. Completed? Type yes if you have completed this step. Completed? Type yes in the chat box. Type yes in the chat box. Okay. Now we'll see the materials which I'm going to use for today's topic. Okay. So for drawing purpose, you can use drawing book also. Okay. So you can use normal pencil like this. If you don't have HB pencil, this is also comes under B CD pencil. So you can use H pencil like this. This is 6B pencil, 4B, 8B pencil, 2B pencil. So these are the pencils which I am going to use for today's topic. For drawing, I'll be using HB pencil and 2B pencil. And for shading purpose, I'll be using 6B, 4B and 8B. Okay. This is about pencils. Erasers. This is the normal eraser. So to erase the lines, okay, we will be using normal eraser only. Okay. So to take out the excess of graphite shading, we'll be using kneaded eraser or molded eraser. Molded eraser is not used to erase. It is not meant for erasing purpose. It is meant for to take excess graphite from the pencil shading. Okay, this is the kneaded eraser. And for sharpening the pencil, you need normal sharpener. This sharpener is enough. To make pencil lid sharp, if you have, use sandpaper. Okay. And to draw the lines, we need scale. We are not going to draw lines with freehand. We will be using scale only. This is 30 centimeter scale. If you don't have 30 centimeters, if you have 15 centimeters, you can use that also. And the blending stumps, these are the blending stumps. So this big stumps I'll be using to blend in the larger part and not and the thin stump I'll be using to blend for the thin lines, thin parts. Okay. So these are the blending stumps which I am going to use for today's class. These are the materials which I am going to use for today's class. And about the this is the black and white photo of a reference image where you can clearly observe what we are going to do now. Okay, this is the art which is having light effect. Okay, light effect is a beautiful artwork where we can see both lightning part, highlight, midtones, and as well darker values like shadow part, darker shadows, as well cast and core shadows. Okay, so it's a 3D image. This is the 3D image. Why it is making a 3D effect? Because of its angles. Because of its angles. Okay. So we'll start this. Everyone are ready? Everyone have saw this reference image? Type yes in the chat. Everyone are ready? Type yes in the chat. We'll start now. Okay. Yes. Thank you. Now take scale. Okay. Take scale. Take HB pencil. In the middle of the paper, draw one vertical line. Maybe. Draw vertical line like this. Everyone do it. Draw vertical line. So I am drawing it dark. On your papers, don't draw dark. Okay. Lines should be visible to your eyes only. Okay. So I am drawing here little dark so that it will be visible for you. Okay. Now draw slant lines. Draw slant lines. This makes the corner of the room. Room corner. Okay. So draw it. Completed? Type yes in the chat if you have completed. Type yes in the chat if you have completed drawing these lines. Okay. Now, from this line towards right side, you need to place the scale like this. So we will be drawing the window part. This is window part. So the gap here, it's an approximate gap. No need to measure. But if you ask the measurement, it's almost 4 centimeters you have to. The middle 4 centimeters. Okay. Now towards outside, draw one slant line and join like this. Okay, this is called volume lines of the window part. Okay, according to the perspective, it's a volume line of the window part. Now, inside the lines, this like this, you need to draw the windows line. So everyone do it. Completed. Okay. Now you need to draw the horizontal lines. Can take this much space. I am drawing it dark on your papers. You make it very light. Okay, don't make it dark lines. Okay, yes. This should not be slant lines. Okay, this should be horizontal lines only. Okay. Completed? Done? Okay. Now, now we will see the candle part. Okay. Candle is standing over this side. So it has melted. So you need to carefully draw the rim. And this is a complete straight line. So I'll be using scale to show the straight line. And this side, on the left side, it has melted. The wax is melted. Need to draw like this. These lines should be very light while blending. Okay, it should not disturb. This line should not disturb the blending process. This is the graphite pencil shading class. So here we are not going to discuss about the medium which you are asking. Okay. Ask the relevant questions which is only related to the graphite pencil drawing and shading. Okay. Here I'll erase the vertical line. Wick. So this vertical line is not needed. Then just erase it. This is the wick. Okay. So once you have drawn all the outline of the drawing, you just erase the slant lines which we have drawn. Impression will be there. Okay. So complete line won't be disappear. Impression will be there. Let it be. So like this, you need to draw. Draw it everywhere. If you have completed, type yes in the chat. Okay. Okay. Now we'll start shading. So drawing part is completed. We'll start with shading. For shading, we will be moving step by step. Okay. First, we will shade it very lightly. Then we'll increase the value of the shade. Okay. So for that, you need to take 2B pencil. So I'll start from here. See, you need to shade smooth shading only. Just make pencil tip. The tip should touch the paper. This is the tip. Okay, that should touch the paper. Okay, and it should be very light. Lines should not be formed. So I'm moving my pencil to and fro. I'm moving the pencil to and fro like this. Like this. Okay, and then this is called layer one shading, where we'll be using 2B pencil to shade. Okay, and we'll use blending stump for blending to get the smooth formation. If you are using tissue paper, you need to be very careful because the graphite powder, what happens, it will spread on the white space. So when you are using tissue paper, use it very carefully. Okay. This is first layer. Now take 6B pencil on top of this. Wherever the darker values are there we will be shading. So here, lid should be sharp for 6B pencil because we need darker value and we are not going to put pressure on the paper. Very lightly we'll be shading like this. Here is the darker line. This part is very near to the flame. Okay, so there will be lighter shading only, light and mid value shading. So while shading, you should be very careful. Now I'm going to take blending stump. So I'll blend this second layer. Here we need smooth only. We don't want any texture to be added here. Only smooth texture is needed. This and this part, blend it very smoothly. Here, very light value shading should be visible because it is very near to the flame. Okay. Here also, with the blending stump only, you need to pull the graphite powder like this. Okay. And the blending stump, just leave the shadow of the window bars. Yes. Then what I'll do, I'll take the graphite. I'm using molded eraser. It should be very light. Okay. Take out the graphite powder from this spaces. And this part. It should be very light here. This. I'm using 6B pencil. Using 6B pencil. And blending stump I'm using. With the blending stump, what I am doing, whatever the graphite I have applied, that I am moving. Okay, like this. Okay. So this part, it is little closed part. So what we have to do, we have to give lighter shading as well as sharp edges. So to make the sharp, I'm using the blending stump and as well molded eraser. Corner should be little dark. Okay. Now take 2B pencil. Take 2B pencil and here you need to leave little white spaces, shape. Take 2B pencil. Okay, leave little white spaces. You can leave it with a line. White space you are not going to shape. Okay, you keep like that only. Here, give one small line like this. Round part with the shape. Okay. Now, for blending, you take blending stuff and blend it. Use 2B pencil. Okay. Now, here I am doing this. Take 2B pencil and shape. Okay. Now, this side. This is also with 2B pencil. Just little bit slant lines you need to shade. Yes. And then with the blending stuff, do it very lightly. Okay. Now take 6B pencil. Take 6B pencil and a little bit darker value is needed. So give very light laying here with 6B pencil. Blend it like this. Okay. Here also take 6B pencil. The tip of the lid should touch the paper. Okay. This. Then smoothly you should blend. Now take 2B pencil. No need to sharp. So here, this type of arts, you should be careful on lights and shadow reflections. Okay. So the reflections are coming correct, then the artwork will look more realistic. Okay. It depends only on the darker values and reflected values. Okay. So you need to be very careful where you need to give the white spaces and where to fill the space with graphite. Okay. If you are completely filling with the graphite, then it won't look good. Here, but smooth blending should be done properly. Mhm. Put little pressure to blend smoothly. After applying the 6B pencil shading, We are doing this then. First, suppose if you forgot to leave the white space, at that time, what you have to do? Take this molded eraser and give it a sharp edge shape and slowly lift the graphite powder like this. Okay, for that purpose only the molded eraser is used. Okay, yes. After that, with blending stem only, we need to keep the shading inside each block. It should not be completely smooth. There should be little texture still. So this lines we have drawn, right? That lines you need to blend the smooth blending should be there. I'm using only the blending stem. I'm not using pencil here because it's a very light shading. But should be like this. Okay. So now what I am doing, the basic texture is created now. So what we have to do is we need to see the wherever the darker values are there, there we need to increase the darker values and the lighter values also. Okay. So sure. The part which is facing towards you, that part should be darker. So this part, take 6B pencil with this, then slowly shade or blend this. Okay. Now, what I'll do, I'll take mold, molded eraser, like deep here, little white space, by taking the graphite powder. Okay. So the same step I'll be repeating here also. Hmm. Mhm. Flip them and put. Yes, what we are doing, we are adding the values to the lines. Okay. Lines. Okay. Now the part on the vertical lines, wherever the line facing towards you, that part should be dark. So this part should be dark. Like this. This. Use 6B pencil. No need to sharp. This will get the 3D effect. So by adding all highlights, okay, and also the shadows, darker values, lighter values, where we get this 3D form. How we'll get? By adding the volume to the shapes. We'll be getting the 3D form. Now, I'll take 2B pencil and I'll sharpen this pencil. Sometimes, every time you should not blend. Okay, even with blending stuff, they should make it look little sharper. Okay. Now, sharp your pencil. Pencil lid should be sharp. Okay. Now, adjust the sleeve. So, outside of the wall, the side, you need to hold the pencil at the back. Okay. Back side holding is very important. And this is called smooth hatching. Smooth shading technique. Okay. When you hold the when you hold pencil back, you will get a texture shading like this. Anyhow, we are not going to do any texture shading. We'll be blending it smooth on. But lines formation we can avoid. Okay. If you hold like this and if you shade, what happens? Line forms. Okay. I'll show, but don't do. I'll show it how it looks. See the lines? So here is the line formation. What happened? That line won't get blended with the blending stuff. So that only you need to hold the pencil and the back and to shade. Completely clear shade. The same process like this. Pencil should go top to bottom and bottom to top. Now I'll take blending stuff and I'll put pressure here because I want it to be smooth. Okay. Sometimes what happens, even though we are using blending stump, from blending, because of blending stump, we'll get the line formation in the shading part. Okay. To avoid, you need to use your finger and you need to press that graphite powder. Okay. Like this. To avoid the line formation. If you are doing any texture at that time, line if line forms also not a problem. But we are not doing any texture here, so we don't want any line formation. We are showing here the values only. Above the slant line, first you need to shade. You can use makeup brush also instead if you are not comfortable using your finger. Okay, you can use makeup brush also. If you don't have blending stuff, use tissue paper, cotton, swab cotton, anything like this. Or simply you can use your finger and to blend. Be careful when you are using tissue paper. Whatever you use, it will spread. Even in the blending stump also, it will spread. Okay, you need to control your hands. You need to do. Now, till here I leave. Okay. Then around the light, okay, around the light there will be formation of darker value. Okay, the light travels. Okay, what happens? It travels in all sides. It moves in all sides and it touches the all parts of the surfaces. Okay, and the back side of the light, okay, there will be little darkness. So that we need to clear it now. You can use any company pencil. Paper should be in proper way. 140, 160 GSM paper only you need to use. Then only the spread will move properly. The blending stuff, we can blend it smoothly. Here, little bit of texture process should be visible. So you should blend in circular way. Using your finger to get that circular effect. In this side, it should be dark. Below that slant line, that should be dark. In horizontal way, you need to blend here below the slant line. Okay, you need to blend in a horizontal way. Yes. Under under the candle, it should be dark. I'm using 2B pencil only. I have not yet started the layering method. Okay. With the 2B pencil, I am creating the depths. So here I am using circular shadings. I'm moving the pencil in circular forms and I'm creating circular shading here. So that even after smooth blending, I'll get the same thing like this. The floor should be in a circular form. Now what I'll do, I am taking the molded eraser. Okay. I have molded like this in one corner. Then give it and take out the graphite from here to the right. Okay. Now I'll give side of it with the 2B pencil. We need the right shading. So one layer is completed. Now take 3 pencil or you can take 8B also from now onwards. So I'll take for 6B only. Afterwards I'll do with 8B. Here little bit darker value should be visible. So we have drawn the vertical line, right? So till that vertical line, make it little dark. Okay. Now the side, use 6B pencil. But here you need to blend in a circular form. You should not do the straight blending. Okay. If you do the straight blending, what happens? Line will form. Yeah. Okay. A bit of circular blending. After that, they smooth up. And this. Okay. Now from here, I need mid-tone now. So I'll be using 4B pencil. Use 4B pencil to get the mid-tone. This is the darker value this side. This side it should be mid value. So here we have drawn the slant line, right? So in that position only we will be doing the shading so that it should look like it's in a corner of the room. Okay? It has placed in the corner of the room. Now take to the pencil and pencil lead should be sharp. Here you need to hold the texture of the candle. So we'll be doing very slowly here. Shading you need to do very slowly. And the lid of the pencil should touch the paper. Here I am using 6B pencil. Press afterwards click small blending stuff. Then while blending also you need to do it very slowly here. Only the thing is we are not going to put any pressure here. So only the graphite powder, what are the graphite powder we have given, that you are moving in the smoothly. So sharpness should be visible. Outside, need to put little pressure, but inside the candle, need to be very careful and should move very smoothly. Texture should not get spoiled here. Here, texture should be visible. Okay. Wherever the rough texture is there, the roughness should be visible. Wherever the lightness is there, that lightness should be visible. Now I'm using molded eraser so that I can move all the graphite from here to show the glowy effect. Now I'll use 6B pencil to increase the darkness. So I'm giving the lighter shading. By using layering method only, I'll increase the darkness here. I'm not going to give direct darker value. Because if I try to give the direct darker value, then the texture shape, okay, that shape I won't give. Let's use 8B pencil. Slowly what we are doing, we are increasing the darker value here. Use 8B pencil. 8B pencil here. Above the slant line, we need to shade with 8B pencil. AB pencil. So inside the candle, to get that values, first we will be doing the outer value first. Once the outer value finish, we get properly, then we will move to the inner values. This, okay. Here, the shape of the shadow should be captured. Okay, so you need to be careful going to get the shape of the shadow. Shadows always carry the shapes. Inside the candle, the lines which we have drawn, that you need to blend like this. Don't blend completely, give it a smooth blend. Okay. So final thing, the foreground part. Foreground part we are going to do now. Background is completed. Foreground we have to do. Use 8B pencil. I am using 8B pencil only. Okay. For foreground, use 8B pencil. Okay. Now what I will do here, Plane part we have drawn the line, right? That line you need to slowly blend. Okay. Let's take molded eraser. Then that line you need to erase. Impression will be there and light shading will be there. So if light shading is not there, then you can't see the shape. So shading will be there. Inside the candle also, take 2D pencil, give it a light cone shading. Here the candle should hold the theme to this. Has to hold. Okay. Like this. And then finally, back side of the candle, this part, take out the graphite, lift the graphite with the rounded eraser. So now the last layer I'm going to do with 8B pencil. Take 8B pencil, final layer, and the lid should be sharp, okay, so that we'll get the proper layer. Lid of the pencil should touch the paper, and don't use blending stem. Use the hand and blend it like this. Always not needed to use the blending stem. Okay. Here, the edge of the lines are sharp. So with the AB pencil, we give it a smooth blend. To get that natural effect, always blend properly so that you will get the natural effect. If you don't blend, what happens? Lines will look very sharp and you won't get the perspective properly. The chords are line only it should be visible. Plus, now with the molded eraser, I will lift the graphite. So here I am holding the shade. At this stage, what usually we'll do, we'll use fixative spray and again we will shade. But here, not needed because it's an A4 size paper. So we can directly do with the tea hand. Few more layers. So this is KB. You can get in any stationery shop. You can ask mounted eraser or needed eraser, anything like that. You can get in any stationery shop or in Amazon, Flipkart, Meesho, this need. You put layers here. Here always I am doing the circular way of shading only. We have almost completed. Only few layers to go. This is the cast shadow around the handle. On the foreground, there will be cast shadow visible. You can add the cast shadow part. Differentiate the wall texture. Okay. And I'll give Little more background value. Please make sure you are not messing up with the lines. Line should be visible, but it should be in the line should be visible, okay? But it should be blended properly. Use 8B pencil here. If you are using normal paper, then this layers you won't get. At this stage, your paper will get stiff. Don't put pressure on the paper with pencil. You should be shading very smoothly. Pencil should move very smoothly here at this stage. With this part, it should be in mid value only because light, I said no, light is having, light will go and touch in all parts of the room. Okay. So few will be having highlights and few will be having the mid-tones. So this part should be mid-tone, and on the windows where we have left the white spaces, that are the highlights of the light. So here now final stage what we are doing, we have given the value, now we are blending it to get flat. Like so that's it. Kindly share your artwork to my WhatsApp number. Your artwork. Okay, you have to do. finished artwork and mention your name when you are sharing your artwork. Okay. If you have any questions about the today's artwork, you can ask. So here I left the if you have any questions about today's artwork, you can ask. Now what I'm doing, I'm removing the tape and even on the tape also. White space has formed there I'm shading so that I can get the complete paper shaded properly. This is the shadow. Shadows always you should not forget. Have to add the shadows. Okay. If you have any questions, you can ask. Practice, practice, daily practice. You will get good line textures. Okay. No questions? Everything is clear? Completed? Type yes in the chat if you have done. Share it to my WhatsApp number once you have done. Okay. Okay. Bye bye. Bye bye, everyone.